Well, let's get to the football and the Giants. So, Shedeur Sanders had a meeting with the Giants, right?
Yeah, it's getting confusing. You've had people come out and say they thought they were getting to a point where Shedeur Sanders is not really going to be an option for the Giants, like as if they're moving on. Now they're having private meetings with him.
But then because they got Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson.
Yeah, so you start to figure, though, that becomes a conversation.
So you went and got those two guys, and now you're going to draft a quarterback?
And that's what you're thinking. Is Russ – he's still relatively young, you know what I mean? And he could be our guy for the next 3-4 years. Obviously, Jameis is just a perpetual backup. Like that's where he's perfect. Just back up.
He just can't. He's not. He turns the ball over too much.
And he's going to wow you every now and again, and then he's going to disappoint you.
We saw that Cleveland game. Remember
100%.
Who'd they play? I can't remember. He had 4 touchdowns and 4 picks.
Yep,
or
exactly.
4 touchdowns and 5 picks. Whatever.
Wins you a game, running in the snow, jumping in the end zone. You know, you're like, man, all right, you know what? Maybe. And then he turns it over. Oh my God, Lord help me with these turnovers. So
I mean, man,
you're happy. He's your backup. You got a very capable backup in James.
In case something happens.
100%. So there becomes the question.
And if you're the Giants, right? They got the number 3 pick.
Yep. And the consensus as of we stand here is Cam Ward. We know that, going to go to Tennessee, which is hilarious that they're right back in the quarterback market after getting the quarterback. But Cam Ward there. And by the way, is Cam Ward the most least discussed number 1 pick in the history of number 1 picks?
Yes, nobody
talks about Cam Ward. So there's that. And then at Cleveland would go and get Travis Hunter. So then it becomes, well, if that's the case and you're the Giants and your quarterback of the potential futures is sitting there, do you go get him? Or do you say there's other positions to be filled?
Right, but also like the idea that what happens if Cleveland doesn't take Travis Hunter?
Now you start to get a weird predicament.
Now the question, and that's what we want to ask people, is what would you do?
Yeah.
Because the Giants have already said that they would be open to him playing both sides of the field.
Yep.
Right? So now if you're the Giants –
they're buttering that up too.
Right.
They're buttering it up they're buttering this thing up. You know what I mean? You got to start to put the butter on the skillet, let it melt a little bit, just letting you know I'm ready. They're throwing it out there. Hey, Travis, just in case Cleveland does something else.
Right, you never know.
They go get Carter, a defensive end, to pair up with Myles Garrett or something, or they go get somebody else we didn't think, the running back.
You got to be prepared because you're not sure.
Yep.
And the question really is, if you're the Giants, would you do it? Would you take Shedeur? Say both are available.
Both are available at 3. Who do you take? That is a difficult one because it comes down to how you feel about Russ.
Because you have a quarterback, or do you go, it doesn't matter who you have? And you know what's funny? When Michael Jordan wasn't drafted, number 1 or 2, Hakeem was number 1, right? And number 2 was Sam Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
But Portland, the reason that they took Sam, right?
Yep.
Is because they already had Clyde Drexler.
Yeah.
And so that's what, and then I'm going to say, when Michael Jordan was there, you know what I mean? You go, I don't care if I have Clyde Drexler. I'll trade Clyde Drexler first.
Knowing what we know now,
no, I know, but I'm just saying, so that's the same vein here is, yes, I have Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have Jameis Winston, who's the backup. So I'm not really,
that you know
but
he is.
I have Russell Wilson. Here's a guy we might have and have a guy who could be our quarterback for the next 12 or 14 years for the New York Football Giants. That's the question.
Yeah. Or do you get a one-of-a-kind, generational talent, can do both sides of the ball, fantastic in the city, popular, you know what I mean? Like he would have the team on as far as popularity, commercials, and all that. You know that's going to come with Travis Hunter.
And you would help 2 spots on the team.
Right. Potentially, yeah. But at the end of the day, for me, I'm going Shedeur. And the reason why I'm going Shedeur is, again, I'm just a fan of, I think that he is a Deshaun Watson-like, where all he kept doing was winning and winning, but everybody kept questioning it. It's almost like Lamar Jackson. Not that he's that type of player, so don't look at that. But what I meant was Lamar was won a Heisman. Next year was a Heisman candidate and just kind of kept winning. And, you know, and Louisville obviously wasn't going to win a national title, but he was just like sitting there. Hello, I'm really good. But you're like, nah, you kept overthinking. Nah, I just don't think. Nah, I don't know. Well, is he a real quarterback? And to me, Shedeur, I'm not saying he's Andrew Luck a given. That's a whole different thing.
Because you talk to different people, and some people don't even think he's a first-round quarterback.
But
I don't know how you could have that big of a a gap as far as the talent evaluation.
Right.
It could be like, okay, yeah, he's a first round, but it would be lower in the first round for me.
Some people he's top 5, some people he's 25th.
Exactly.
We've heard it. I think a part of that, Rob, is because he had an unconventional. He was at Jackson State.
It doesn't matter where you should play. I mean,
what I mean is, so he didn't go from because average be a transfer, but he didn't go from Colorado to then Oklahoma, where we've seen that. Him to go to Jackson State, people are always going to dismiss it. Well, he had big numbers, but it was Jackson State. You get what I mean? And then he goes to Colorado. They won one game.
McNair was a really good quarterback, and he played at Alcorn State, right? I mean.
And that's what I think Shedeur is. He's dealing with all right, so you go from Jackson State, and he just simply following his father. So if his father went to Alabama, he would have gone to Alabama. Would he have had success there? And I believe so. So I'd rather I want to have a guy that if Russ is the guy we say, we don't want to run out Shedeur right now to get beat down. We have a perfect guy in Russ. He can teach him, professionalism. He's been there. He knows the game. He's been in this league for a long time. He's a veteran. Shedeur can watch this, watch him for a year. But we have our guy of the future. We got Malik Neighbors. We got some running backs. We want to get this offense going. Let Shedeur kind of mature into this. He has swagger. He has, to me, what could pop in New York if it's going well. And I just believe you'll have a guy that could be your guy for the next 5 to 8 years. And to me, that's what they've been missing, right? A guy that you can say, there's our quarterback, the city can get behind, and you can finally have something. And all Shedeur is what? High school, Jackson State. Colorado wins one game the year before he gets there. They win 6 or 7. Then the next year, last year, they win 9, and they look good and had nerves to try to be competing in the college football playoffs.
Until the big game came.
So to me, he's just won every step of the way. Everybody who talks to him says he's a great kid. He works hard. You never question his intellect and his, he's just, obviously he's not a dynamic athlete like a Lamar Jackson. So to me, I'm going there to say, breathe. I got the guy. And my last point, Robin, I keep saying this. Most of the quarterbacks who come in and are good lately, they have 30, 40, 45 starts under the belt. Gone are the days you only started your halfway through your junior year and then your senior. These guys with transfer portal another years and COVID years, they're getting a bunch of start, and then they're coming in the league and they're having success because they're played a lot of college football, not just that 1 year because I was next in line at this school. So he's got a bunch of starts, bunch of leadership, bunch of qualities that I like, and I can go, we got a guy for some years that we can build around. We got Neighbors. We got some running backs. Let's keep building. And I don't have to rush him out there because I got Russ and I have Jameis if he were to get hurt or something. I don't have to rush Shedeur out there.
I look at it as Travis Hunter. It's a once-in-a-lifetime situation, like facing you where you could have that and you still have a quarterback, you know what I mean, for like you said, a couple years. And most people view this as a weak quarterback draft. Would you admit that?
They do.
Okay. So if you...
they do when we don't even talk about Cam Ward. He's
right, that's what I'm saying, right. So that could buy you a couple of years, and then you could also add a quarterback at some other time or draft one later. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of stuff, but that's a special player. It's hard for me to take a look and pass it up.
I'm not mad at that. Whereas
Shedeur is not like, I'm not saying he's not talented, but is he special? Did he win the Heisman? Do you know what I mean? Like
that's my point.
All the accolades and all the stuff that Travis Hunter.
He kind of reminds me of peak Russ, where it isn't special per se. Russ was never the fastest. Russ was, never the most, accurate in the world. But it was just like, peak Russell Wilson. You were like, man, he's just really good. And that's why I brought up Deshaun Watson of like, Deshaun just won at Clemson, and people kept finding reasons to not draft him. They're like, no. Now, obviously, years later, we would find, some personal issues. But I'm talking about the player. And it was like, dude is just really good and keeps winning, and we keep psyching ourselves out. And then he goes to Houston and has a really good career until, again, he finally comes to Cleveland and stuff is out there. But that's what I mean, where Shedeur, I kind of feel like I keep winning, different places, different organizations. I keep showing them a leadership. It's sitting there. Don't overthink it.